How you doing, sir?
Great.
Great is good.
Great
Great
is
is good.
That's it.
Hey, today we're going to be talking about peripheral vision. Now, what that means basically is spiritual realities, the unseen. Have you ever been looking and you notice something out of the side of your eye, and when you look, there was nothing there?
Absolutely. Like I said, quite often. And there is something there. You wanted to talk about peripheral vision. Well, God is right next to you, and that's what you're seeing out the peripheral vision. Because look, we're always thinking ahead of our evidence. We're always seeing ahead of our evidence because we're thinking feelingly about something, and that's what it is we're experiencing because it doesn't fall into the past, right?
Absolutely.
Now, every word, no, it's not falling into the past because I figured that was what was happening years and years ago, but it isn't. It's being projected into our future, and so what you're seeing. See my hands out here. See what you're seeing is really there, but it takes time for your mind to adjust to seeing invisible, and you will. And when you do, you won't believe it. It'll go on and on and on, but you won't believe it. And then suddenly you will. That's the way it works. Just suddenly you have an idea and you think, well, where did that come from? It comes from where all your ideas come from, right here. It's you get a signal, but we're not really involved in thinking feelingly about a particular thing, and so we get distracted very easy. And I was very easily distracted, but it is something you can overcome, and it's something you will overcome, that being distracted. But that doesn't mean that you won't take care of what needs to be taken care of. It just means that you're going to return to what you were doing before you were distracted. That makes sense, doesn't it?
It does. How do you overcome the distractions?
Well, you're choosing.
Okay.
You're told choose this day. You're not. You're supposed to be choosing what you're thinking, not just letting them run through, and then you
Okay.
you're in a maze and you just pick up on something. But the idea, you have to be choosing. All you're told choose this day, so you're choosing all the time with every word. You're choosing, but what are you choosing? Well, what are you saying? What are you thinking about? That's what you're choosing. And if it isn't what you want, stop it and think of something else. I know that sounds simple to say, but I know we're not unaware all the time. All we're really saying is that little more aware is better, right?
Absolutely. I love that you said, listen, we're always choosing. And going back to the peripheral vision, a lot of times when we face what it is that we think that we see out of our peripheral, it's what we've chosen. So, whatever, if it's lack that we've chosen and we face it, then we see lack. But if it's abundance and we face it, then we see abundance. So, we're, like you stated, we're always choosing. And the question is, why not choose better?
Yeah, really, why not? I was waiting to choose better, but I didn't know what I was waiting for. And I know that's a problem with everybody. They know what to do, but it's the doing it. See, we tell you, I mean, we all hear it by the hearing of the ear, what is good to do. But that means that now you do it. Do a thing, and you shall have the power. You see, you're told very plainly, what do you want to do? Do it. The power will be there if you show up to claim it. I am that. The power is right with you, right then and right there. Now, if you don't let it go, then it'll follow right along with you. But if you let it go, it stops. And that's what happens. We lose our attention. And it's what has our attention that has our life. And so you want to be very careful of what you're paying attention to, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. So it really does go back to you said, no, what has our attention has our life. So when we turn and we look to whatever that thing is, then that thing has control of us. But most of us believe that the 3D is in control. They believe that the world on the without is the cause of everything that's going on in their lives.
Yeah, actually, that's what they do believe. See, they don't believe that they can control things. But what did God tell you when he told you choose this day? So that means this day you have choice, but it's always this day. So you always have choice. So if you made the wrong choice and someone said, well, what if I choose and it isn't, well, you're told choose again this day, this day. It's always this day. So choose wisely. You'll enjoy life much, much better. Just being aware, believe me, the more aware you are of what you're thinking, feelingly about, the better off you are. Wouldn't you say?
I would say, and the thing is, when we're looking on the without, a lot of times because we begin to, you said choose a different thought. Now, a lot of times people, because immediately they choose that new thought, that miraculously the next moment everything's not fixed. But what we have to understand is it's about compound choices.
Yeah, actually, we're choosing
Mhm.
all the time. Rather, we're aware we're doing so or not. So therefore, choosing unaware can be uncomfortable,
Yeah,
to say the least. It could actually be disastrous also because it's as you think you are. Look, let's start off this right from the beginning. There's only God.
absolutely.
He's all things to all. If you can settle on that from this program, that there is only God and that he's with you always and that he'll never leave you, and omnipresence is right here right now, and he tells you, I suffer with you but you behold me not. So he's telling you, I'm right here with you right now. Choose this day. And if you can't do that, but you can, God told you to do it, and he's there. He's already said, you show up, I'm right here. Where are you? See, he's constantly asking you, where are you? Well, identify yourself. I am. That's all that's happening in this whole drama, man, is I am what? Because as you think you are, well, what? See, that's what you want to get clear in your own mind. What are you thinking about? Because that's what you're going to be experiencing, isn't it?
Absolutely. Earlier you said that when we see out of our peripheral vision, you said what we're seeing is God. And it comes back to what you just said, there's only God. And that's so true. You often will say, God says, turn to me and I'll turn to you. So when we turn in our peripheral vision, what are we saying in our I am? Because whatever it is that we're saying at the moment of now, that's what we're manifesting.
That's it. He said, choose this day.
Yeah.
You have choice to choose this day. And what would you choose? What you're thinking and feeling. And that's all you need to do is choose this day. Think only. Get that. See, that's that magic word there, that only.
Mhm.
Think only on things that are lovely and of good report. See, if as you think you are, and that's what you're thinking, you got it made. Right there, you're given all of it right there. As you think you are, you do, you have, you be. What are you thinking? See, that's it. If you question, you got to be honest with yourself, though. See, I lied about it forever. I think I did because I kept saying, "Well, yeah, I know that," but I didn't know it. I only knew about it, and that's only a start. But you still have to start. So if you're saying you know about it, fine. Move in, start thinking from, because it's what you expect, that's what you get. Isn't that so?
That's absolutely so. You went back and you said, listen, think only on what's lovely and of a good report. Now, many of us have been habitually programmed to think contrary to that, to think negative. And for us, that's our norm. So, what we're not saying is that this is going to be easy when you're accustomed to a certain way of thinking. But you must, and I stress the word must, you must begin to exercise that muscle of thinking lovely and of a good report. As you continue to exercise that mental muscle, you're going to build upon it and build upon it and build upon it. One day thereafter, it's going to become a lifestyle.
Yes, I know it's vegetable.
Yeah.
See, but it has been programmed to answer every question you have if you'll just be still and know that I'm God right here with you right now. I'll answer your question if you will state it clearly. Because that, in other words, you're not saying this to tell God what you want. He already knows what you need. But you're saying it because then you know what you're asking for, and you'll immediately know if you're asking amiss, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, you
I
will.
mean, who knows what you're thinking but you? See, and nobody else you don't need to confer with anybody to do this. It's all a self and risen drama, isn't it?
It is.
So if it is that, well, then you don't need anybody else. You. The only reason for going to church is an information station. They're telling you there what to look for. Well, look for it because what you're looking for is looking for you. What are you looking for? I'm. I mean, what are you looking for? That all you have to do is just answer that question. What are you looking for? Lovely and of good report? Fantastic. Expand on it. But if it's not, drop it. I mean, drop it completely. Forget it. Turn to something else. You know, people are always going, oh, they say, oh, I get distracted and I forgot what I was doing. Well, why don't you get distracted so you forget what you were thinking if you didn't want it? See, it's really simple if you actually start looking at it from a simple idea and to remember it, because it's what you remember, that's what you'll tend to move with, what you actually remember. And that was the only reason for going to church, is so they can tell you what to do. And what they're telling you to do is be still, contemplate, meditate, and don't make a big deal out of contemplation and meditation. You're doing it all the time anyway. Really, you are. But are you aware of it? See, that's the difference that makes the difference, isn't it?
It is. You stated earlier, you said, listen, you ask the question and spirit, God, subconscious mind goes about to find your answer. So if it's one of seeking abundance, better health, better relationships, you ask the questions by expecting what it is that you desire. Subconscious mind's duty, its role is to bring about that thing in your world. So you must give your attention to it continuously on a feeling state. So feeling, thinking, feelingly from, as Neville would often say, thinking from and not of.
Yes, yeah, actually, it's as you think you are. That's what you're going to be, what you're thinking about right now. Not right now. I mean, it may be down a few days or a few months or in the future, but as long as it's out there and you haven't canceled it, it'll play its part. And you'll play the part that you just signed into, because that's what you're doing. You're actually signing in to what you're thinking feelingly about. And is that what you really want to experience? And if it isn't, I'll keep telling you, drop it, turn from it, think of things lovely and of good report. And also that magic word there, and only. If you think only on things that are lovely and of good report, and as you think you are, that's lovely and of good report, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you say with the person? They say, well, listen, I'm operating from a place of reality. And when I watch the news, when I see the current events and everything else, I'm not seeing lovely and what's of a good report.
Actually, you are. You actually are. Remember, God gave everyone choose this day. Some choose the most horrendous things to do, but God said, choose it. And so whatever you're choosing is what you're doing. Lovely and a good report are the most rotten thing in the world because you have the choice. I mean, just the word choice tells you that you have the power and you're given the power. And you can see that people are using the power horribly, really, but it's still their idea of what they want to do, what they want to be, what they're looking for. And all these people run around shooting people. It's an ego. They want to be known. They want to be, even if it's for the worst thing in the world, they still want to be known.
Absolutely.
That's what they're looking for, and that's all they're looking for. So if anyone would have befriended them with a little kind word now and then, they probably wouldn't be the killer they are, right?
Absolutely. And the truth of the matter is, if they had been influenced with Think Lovely and What's of a Good Report, what would they have been known for today as opposed to that hideous crime? So you're absolutely correct. And you touched on something. I want to touch on it briefly. You said, listen, everyone is choosing. Many of us operate from a place of ego and we think that we're the only gods choosing. So we say, well, since I'm the only gods choosing, then I can control everything. You can control your world. But likewise, with each and every person, let's say 8 billion of us, we're all choosing. What we're seeing collectively is the mass mind choosing. But you, in your own world, can begin making a difference by simply thinking what's lovely and of a good report.
And it always comes in subtly.
Yeah.
See, that's the reason why it's never picked up on.
Yeah.
It always comes suddenly and secretly. Subconscious mind is given to look at what you're thinking and how you're feeling and create your world in accordance. And that's true whatever you're thinking feelingly about, because whatsoever was the word. There's no parameters on it. It says whatsoever. Choose this day. And it's always this day, and you're always on. So you're always choosing. So just look at what you're experiencing right at the moment. And if it's not lovely and a good report, well, then that was your thinking ahead of it. And you can change that immediately, right now. You're always thinking ahead of your evidence. So if you want to change the evidence, you have to change the talking, thinking, feelingly ahead of it. Come on. Whatever you're feeling is believing, that's what you're being delivered into. And I think it might be wise to give a little thought to what you're thinking about, seeing as how you're going to experience it. Lovely or not. That's the question. Choose. That's the reason for that word, choose. And that's a very, very important word. And the woman says, well, what does it matter what I think and feel? It matters. It really does matter. Take my word for it for a little while and just watch what you're saying to yourself, and you'll see that you're either setting yourself free or binding yourself into something you don't want. And that's what it means when it says to pray, believe that you have received that for which you're asking. You're given it, and you're told to receive it. But that's where the communication kind of breaks down, because people walk away and they didn't receive. But the point is they did receive, they just didn't accept it. Isn't that right? What it is?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You said that the woman says, what difference does it make what I think and believe? And this is 99% of the world. Most people believe that the stuff that we're talking about is fairy tales. But I'll say this, test it. Mr. Lindell kind of said this earlier, test and see that what it is that what we're saying is true. You have nothing to lose by looking and examining your thoughts and saying, okay, this is the situation I'm in.
You got what you expected, didn't you?
Absolutely.
See, that's where the work is. It says, as you believe, it is to you. And if all you think about is unlovely and of not good report, then that's what you get more of. Because all things produce after their own kind, and because you said it, it becomes a kind. See, and you have to face that kind that you're making right. Look, we're always thinking ahead of our evidence, so we're always dreaming up something. Is it lovely and of good report? I mean, you can just look at what you're doing, and you can answer that question right off, couldn't you?
Absolutely.
Lovely and a good report, right?
Absolutely.
If that's what you're thinking, that's what you're experiencing. And if you're not experiencing it, then you ain't thinking it.
And we'll say this, if you're experiencing it, you thought it. Even if you were unaware that you were giving your attention to it, if you're experiencing it, experience what the Bible calls fruits. So if you see an apple tree and you see apples on that tree, you can know the type of tree that is. If you're experiencing chaos in your life, you can know the continual kind of thoughts that you're thinking. If you're experiencing lovely and what's of a good report, then again, you can know the thoughts that you're thinking. Your outcome is nothing more than the fruits of your thinking.
That's right. And you never shut up.
Yeah.
That's all you're told to do. Just sit down and shut up and believe I am with you, because that's what he's telling you. I'm here with you right now, right here. What's your problem? I know what your problem is, but what is your problem? See, I want you to say it so you know what it is you're asking for. I already know. And if what you're asking for is what I know you need, you're on. Otherwise, they're scattered. And that's what they are. They're scattered. They're all scattered in mind. And I mean, I can understand in this day and age how you're scattered, because you're constantly being bombarded. Everywhere you look, you've got somebody's name written on something, advertising something. It's constant. Your phones are ringing, knocking on the door, salesmen coming around. All of these are going to be there. I mean, it's our world. It's today, and you can deal with it because you're given to deal with it, and you can. But if you get frustrated, you see, you've turned off. I can do it, and as long as you keep it turned off, then your state of consciousness is not going to change. And that's what you want to do. You want to change your state of consciousness if you're not receiving what it is you desire to receive. But the point is, you have to really desire what you want to receive, because if you're not desirous of it, well, then you're not expecting it. And what you expect, that's what you get.
Absolutely.
And you're on all the time. So just look at what you're getting or what you're experiencing, and that's what you expected. And you say, well, no, I didn't think that. Ah, yeah, but you see, God didn't make a mistake. It's either him or you. We gotta choose who made the mistake. I'm sorry. We just have to learn to be honest with ourselves, you see, because that was my problem. I was always lying to myself. I mean, we do it, and actually we're doing it a lot unaware.
Yeah.
Because you see, it becomes a feeling and an attitude that you express because it was impressed a long time ago, but maybe it doesn't have any meaning for today. So why have it with you if it's not leading you where you want to go? If that's what you're thinking on, leading you where you want to go, and you're doing that, fine, expand on it, because what you're looking for is looking for you. But if you're looking at the problem, if you're always, I know the woman stands up and says, well, you don't think you care about my problem. Well, lady, I really don't. But what you're here for a solution, isn't that? Or did you just come to tell me your problem? And she went, well, no. I said, but you've been talking to the last 5 to 10 minutes about your problem. I don't need to know your problem. I just need to know that you're here to get rid of it. Did you come for a solution, or do you just want to keep telling me your problem?
Absolutely.
I look, I know, I come on heavy sometimes, but sometimes I don't know what it is, and yet I do know what it is because I was there.
Yeah.
But now it seems strange to think someone's there voluntarily. There's no pressure on you. See, when you were given choose this day, all pressure was off there. You can do whatsoever, and that's what was given, right? Whatsoever. So
Absolutely.
so you want to be careful running off at the mouth that you're not digging something you can't get out of, because you can do that very, very just as much as you could make a lovely thing, you can make a damning thing right in front of you. And that's what people do.
We're talking about peripheral vision and people just being mindful. You said, listen, we are seeing something at the peripheral. It's God, and God is all things to all.
Actually, we could see a lot more than natural man mind reasoning sees. But it takes focus. It takes willingness to be still and know that I'm God right here with you right now. And this is so most people don't want to know that.
Yeah.
They don't want to think that God is actually hearing every word they say, every thought they think. He knows what you have need of even before you ask, because he and you are one. Just as Jesus said it, I of myself can do nothing. It's the Father within me. He does all the work. Well, that's the same with you. Of yourself, you can do nothing. The God said if he didn't do it, it wasn't done. So what you're thinking feelingly about is what you're experiencing, because he has a contract with subconscious mind to produce your world in accordance to as you think you are. And that's exactly what it is you're doing. That's exactly what you're experiencing. And because it is what you're doing, you can change it. Change your mind, change your world. That's been the statement all along, hasn't it?
It has been. You said something. You said, listen, no matter what you're doing, God's doing it with you. Paul took it so far. He said, listen, when you're interacting with a prostitute, you're joining God with that prostitute. So there's nothing that we're doing in this life that goes unnoticed by God, because, of course, God is doing it with us. So it goes back to what you were just stating. And I just want to emphasize how important it is just to realize that you and Father's Spirit are one.
Yeah, you may think things you don't want him to know. And you may even think, well, I got away with it. Believe me, you didn't. You don't get away with nothing. Why? Because you know you,
Yeah.
but you really don't know you. You know this part that you're playing. You know that, but that actually isn't who you are. That's what you're doing. See, this is a virtual reality. And when I say virtual reality, what I'm saying is this is a dream. And when you're in another dimension, which you can do so, this is a dream.
Yeah.
But here, that's a dream. But it's all a dream, because as long as you have this body, then you're in the dream.
Absolutely.
But you can get out of the dream even for moments at a time if you'll focus on getting out, on being out, not getting out, being out. And you can do so. And I've done so, so I know so. And I'm not debating about it because I have already done it. Attitude. That's all it is. What are your attitudes about life in general? Because those are your self-denying attitudes. If you don't know what it is you're thinking feelingly about, generally most of the time, then you have no idea where you're going. You don't know what's happening. You're thrown to the wind, as it says. But you have choice. Remember, that was the one thing he gave you choice. So you do have the choice to choose better than the best. What are you doing? What are you choosing? You're choosing whatever you're thinking feelingly about. Is that what you want? Is it really what you want? And if it isn't, why are you doing it? I had to ask myself that over and over and over. Where are we going with this? Is this where I really want to go? No. Well, then, see. And because look, you're always thinking ahead of your evidence. And you can't deny that. Because whatever you're doing, you know ahead of time that you were going to do that because you thought so. But maybe you forgot that. See, I forget a lot of things I think about. But then when they happen, I go, oh, wow, I did that. I did that. I did that. See, and you're doing that because every word, this is a tough one. This is really a tough one. Every word must be accounted for. I don't know about you, but that scared the hell out of me. But that was okay because that's what I needed to be gone. And well, that's true. Everybody says, "Well, I'm living in hell here." Well, yeah, but you created it. See, you took creative choice, and you chose to feel that way. And they say, "Well, no, I didn't choose to feel this way." Well, who made you feel that way then? Well, other people. No, no, they may have wanted you to feel that way, but you had to accept it. See, no, nothing's happening to you that isn't thought about here first. I
Absolutely.
mean, look, just look at the world. I mean, all the roads and the bridges and all the thing that man has done, it all come out of here. What a man can think, feelingly, he can do. That's what you're told. What do you want to do?